Hello, this is Jeff from Studio41 Gaming, and we are talking about the new God Cernunnos, who just came out today. But I have already found a really good build for him. It's really nothing that special, but let's get into it. It's basically normal hunter stuff here, but we start with Transcendence. I hope you know what Transcendence does. It can be disgusting. And then we get Ninja Tabi, we get some boots, some attack speed, and we got Ichaival, attack speed, penetration, and lower your target's physical power from items by 10 seconds. Now we got Executioner, lower your target's physical protections by 12%, and it stacks up to 3 times. And we got Wind Demon, physical power, attack speed, critical strike chance, and basically frickin' the new Rage. And now we have Deathbringer, physical power, critical strike chance, and then you hit freaking hard with crits. And then of course we got beads and Aegis Amulet. And then for abilities, Cernunnos, I think that's how I'm pronouncing it, or I think that's how you pronounce it. It's whenever his passive is whenever he does a basic attack at melee range, he'll do a little bit of extra damage. And he just hits enemies around him, and if he's hitting an enemy at melee range, he'll do some more damage. And then we have, definitely I think his most interesting aspect, Shifter of Seasons. He can switch between 4 different seasons, as they say, by activating the ability. Just rotates through them. And his Spring Growth, which gives bonus physical lifesteal, Summer Heat, which does bonus damage, Autumn Decay, which debuffs, it's kind of like Executioner almost, in that debuffs physical protections each hit for 5 seconds, and then Winter Chill, which slows for a second when you hit with a basic attack. And yeah, all these, it's when you basic attack. It gives basically a bonus effect to that basic attack. Now we have Bramble Blast, which is just an area damage thing. It slows enemies, and it will, I think it roots enemies that are inside of it, that are really in the middle of it. It'll root them. Then it'll do a little bit of damage and slows enemies that are in it. Then we have Horn Charge. It's nothing special. It's just a charge that goes through enemies. And then we have the Wild Hunt. And no, this isn't Witcher 3. And after you activate this ability on the ground, and it will, after a second, it'll damage and polymorph all the enemies that are inside of it. It'll turn them all into boars for 2 seconds, and it also hits pretty freaking hard. So those are his abilities, and I think the basic God Builder's fine. Just basically go for Bramble Blast early, from what I've seen. It's really his best ability outside of his ult. So let's get into some gameplay. So for Cernunnos, basically, you're going to be using Bramble Blast the most in terms of your abilities. It's definitely his most reliable ability. In terms of rotating through his one, I usually stick to Summer Heat just because it gives extra damage and I'm a total whore for damage. But the lowering physical protections can be freaking dirty if you can get some real good sustain on some enemies if you just blow them up over and over and over. Combine that with Executioner and you will get some really high damage scaling. But he really isn't that hard to play. I mean, he's pretty OP right now, to be perfectly honest. His ult can really hit hard. So if there's an enemy out of your range and you don't have Bramble Blast, feel free to freaking blow away a lower health enemy with your ult. I mean, it's really nice. And of course, if somebody tries to 1v1 you, just turn them into a boar. And the only problem is that they can be a little hard to hit because they'll probably start moving all over the place trying to dodge. So if you turn an enemy into a boar, make sure you make it worth it. Just lay into them as hard as you can. And Bramble Blast, of course, that's really good for clearing minions. When you're building Transcendence early, just Bramble Blast and melee, or not melee, basic attack all the enemy minions, so you can really scale your Transcendence up quick. And then with Ninja Tabi and Ichaival, it really offsets how expensive Transcendence is early. So you'll get a lot of attack speed and some good value from those 2 items to get into your Executioner pretty quick, and then of course you'll get to Wind Demon and Deathbringer. And this guy, using that bonus damage thing, he just destroys enemies. And with this build, you will be lower in protections, getting that bonus damage with Transcendence. This build with Cernunnos, it is... I haven't had a bad game with him yet. It is freaking great. Just, it's nothing even that special. It's just basic hunter stuff. Cernunnos is just... He's really, really good. I'm surprised he's rated as an average difficulty. I think he should be an easy, because every game I've had 8 or 9, 10 maybe kills with him. So, just basically get Transcendence early. Just Bramble Blast minions. Make sure basic attacks are hitting, normal hunter stuff. Blow away enemies with your ult. His dash I mainly use to escape. It's just, it does okay damage. I think I might have had a kill with it in the game I recorded for this, but that's the first kill I've had with it in the games I've played. So it's, if you're trying to chase or if you're trying to escape, that's when it's definitely the most useful. But yeah, he's pretty freaking good. He's the first real OP god that they've released recently that I've gotten really good with. I haven't really played with Morgan much since she's kind of tricky, but she's freaking OP as hell. But thanks for watching.